Okay, we are live with Iconic TV and welcome to part 3. So we are doing a multi-part series on how to have automatic profits in your business. This is important because most people are focused on the wrong thing. Most people are focused on that vanity number, that revenue number. Oh, I make $1 million, or I make $500,000, I'm making $250,000. But what happens, and we're going to talk about this today, is that most people are focusing on the wrong number. If you're focused on revenue, you actually need to switch it over to focusing on profit. All right. So here's the question for you. Do you know what the average business earns in net profit? So what that means is when all is said and done, all of your expenses are paid, how much actually goes in the bank? Do you guys know what your number is? You have a gross profit margin and a net profit margin. And what's really interesting is most people don't even know the difference. And most people do not even know their own profit margin. So here's something that happens. We come here live every Tuesday for Iconic TV Live, and everybody in the world can watch. But I also do a workshop every Tuesday in person, and I ask the attendees and the business owners there, what's your profit margin? And you know what? Most of them don't know. So here's the average. If you don't know, okay, if you do know, put your profit margin in there, right? Put your net, right? What do you actually take home and put in the bank? That is your magic number, okay? And you want to have a profit number in your head, okay? What is the number in your head that you really want to have? How much money do you want to put away and put in the bank? That's the key. That's what we're trying to do here. We're not running charities, and we're trying to grow a business. So let's talk about business and numbers and how do we double your profits. Does this sound good? This is what we're all about in this multi-part series, and we are going to get started right now. Okay, so what is your magic number? How much profit are you making in your business? How much profit do you want to make? And is it okay if we double that today? So this is the third of a series, okay? And I want you to know that this is what we're talking about all the time, okay? I'm going to show you how you can double your profits in 5 minutes. If you want to see how that works, all you have to do is type #profit, #profit. I can show you. We'll have to hop on the computer because it is online and I can show you. I'll ask you a couple questions and then we will look at your business and figure out how do you do it for your specific business. It's going to be different for every business. How do we do it for your business? Okay. So if you want to know how do I get more profits in my business, just type #profit and I can show you in 5 minutes. All right. And all you'll have to do is 2 things to build an iconic brand, an iconic business. So as we're talking, we've talked through these different stages, right? And today we're talking about how do you keep those? Once you get the profits, how do you keep those? And this is very important. And how you keep your profits is really dependent on your network and your audience. Okay. So when we're talking about how do you make a mint in your business, we're going through these different sections, right? We talked about the mechanics last week. We talked about the business intelligence that you have to put into place. And today, in order to increase your profits, we're talking about your network. Who's in your network? Who is going to connect you to those profits? You can't do everything by yourself, right? And you shouldn't, because you can, even if you have a ton of money and you have so much money, you could throw it all on ads and things like that. Guess what? Should you do it? Or could you leverage it? See, the power of business is not in your hands. Oftentimes it's in the customer's hands. So Elon Musk says the consumer sets the brand. So think about that. What's the tone? What's the message around your brand? And do you agree with that? That the consumer as the one saying, well, yeah, I like this brand or I don't like this one, right? Like you could see something like a tennis shoe. A tennis shoe could be Nike or it could be Keds or K-Swiss or something. They have a totally different perception, right? And so it's the consumer that actually really sets that. And so you really have to be able to know what your consumer is thinking and what they want to do in order to make the most amount of profits. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Now, here's what we commonly see though, is that for a lot of people, boy, your business looks great on the outside, right? You've got the look, you've got the, sort of that power stance, you've got it all going on. All right. Does anybody feel like that? Oh, it's you get to some of these sites and some of these places and it's almost intimidating, right? It's like, wow, that's amazing on the outside. The question is, when you look closer on the inside, this is what we see all the time, right? When you really look on the inside of what's happening on those really pretty shellacked businesses, it's kind of empty. We find that, yeah, it's smoke and mirrors, okay? And if that's what's happening in your business, this is the show that you want to pay attention to. We're going to go quick, and there's not a lot of different concepts. There's going to be a main concept that I want you to grasp here today, okay? And let me know when you see it, because I'm kind of hiding it in the messages because I don't want it to be obvious because you'll just discard it. I want you to really think about your brand and your business and how do you make more profit off of what you have, okay? Without spending more money on marketing or advertising. So a lot of you are still walking around on eggshells about how you're doing. Oh yeah, it was really great last year, right? Or I'm right now taking a break, or I'm in the process of pivoting, right? And you're just kind of tiptoeing around everything, okay? But let's be real, okay? Chances are your business profits don't look so good when you know where to look, okay? Because that shiny exterior of, oh yeah, I look really good on the outside doesn't actually tell the story, does it? And you know what the story is. When we look under the hood, uh-oh, right? Again, no matter how pretty things look on the outside, if you look under the hood and it's not good, then you really have to start getting serious about this. And this is what we're talking about today. So I want to give you, before we end today, I'm going to give you a way to actually know, what should I be looking at? How do I do this? How do I put it together? And how do I make it work? Okay. So does that sounds good? Give me a thumbs up, because what we're doing here, we're talking about taking you and your business from 6 figures to 7 figures in 1 year or less without any of the stress or the struggle or the overwhelm that you're going through. And how do you really profit? Not just talk about your big gross number, but what is the bottom line? How do we raise up the bottom line for your business? Okay, that's what you want to do. So when we take a closer look, under the hood, the questions, are you tired of coming up empty? Like, you're working hard, you're hustling, you're doing all the things, you're trying to be everywhere, but you're still coming up empty, when we take the glasses off, right? It's not that bright out there, is it? The other question that I want to ask you, are you trapped in this aspect? So many people are trapped in this concept of a funnel, okay? But a funnel isn't a strategy, right? Just because you have a funnel doesn't mean you have a business. You have a process. And most people are like, oh, I got someone to build my funnel. Well, great. Off of what? Okay. This is a big problem. And people do this all the time. Well, I have a marketing person. I have this person. Fabulous. Okay. Do they know your customer? Do they know your numbers? Do they know your messaging, right? Have they done market surveys? Or are they just kind of doing what you're telling them? Or are they doing what everybody else in your space is doing? So please don't confuse a funnel for a strategy, okay? It definitely is not. So the other thing is that a brand is not a strategy. So people say, well, this is my brand, or I have to get my logo and the look, and I got to get my fonts and my colors and all that stuff. Again, that's just the look, all right? It's just the look. But is it your strategy? Is that taking you anywhere, right? We are the iconic brands, right? I'm talking about being iconic, right? I'm linking all your past stuff uh, from your potential, getting rid of everything that's holding you back. Okay. But no matter how much I talk about that, or we talk about our our look, right? This is kind of our model that we use in our business, right? And it's a cube. So you see a lot of squares in our model. And why is that important? Because, if you look at a square, right, it's very balanced. And that's what we want for your business. So this is all about part of our branding, right? But when you look at it at different angles, right, then there's a lot more depth. Okay. And so the same thing has to happen with your business. Is it just one sided, all shiny up front? Or when you really dive deep into it, look at the numbers and look behind the scenes, does it have the depth and the weight to carry this on, to make it an iconic brand, right? Or build a legacy brand? Or if you want to sell your business, be able to sell your business. So you have to look beyond the funnel, beyond the brand, all right? So if you want your business to soar, you actually have to do less, not more. Okay, let me say that again. It's very important. If you want your business to soar, you've got to do less, not more. And what do we mean by that? Is that there are actually what we call profit levers. Okay, and these are the things that are going to move the needle. Okay, so think of it like a lever you pull down, right? What is the thing that you can do to make things start to go? Okay, so if you know those, okay, and there are some low hanging fruit, easy little things that you could do to move that lever. And there's a dozen of them, 12. Now, you don't have to do all of them in a big way, okay? Because everyone's business is a little different. But you can move all of them a little bit, a few of them a lot, some, right? And you can measure that, okay? And so, what I want you to know is that there's sort of a test that you can take, okay? And you can test, well, which of these levers do I need to move, okay? And how far and in what order and when. Okay. So imagine if you knew all of that. Well, if you could do it, you know how much to do, you wouldn't have to work harder. Okay. You just are working smarter. Does that sound great? So if you want to do that, if you want to kind of take that test, okay, and we can show you how to double the profits, I'll put it on that test and put your business into that machine. And I want you to take that quiz. Just type #profit if you want to do that. So what are we going to be looking at? Okay, these are the four things in these four categories, right? Do you have it? Do you have the it factor in your business and in your service or product or your offer? Do you have that it factor? Okay, does it stand out? Is it a premium product, an iconic premium offer or product that you have? The second thing is, does it work? You have to make sure if you're going to make money, you don't want everybody trashing your reputation and returning it, right? You have to make sure it works. The third thing you have to look at is easy, right? People don't want anything hard. They want it easy. They want it simple. We like convenience. And the fourth thing that people want is speed. People love to have things quickly, right away, instant gratification. Um, how many of you, use the food delivery services, right? And you're just like, I want it now. I want it fast. You drive faster and faster cars, right? We want instant results. And remember when the fax was so amazing? It's just not even anything right now. Everything gets faster and faster and faster. Okay. We used to write our own copy and do things like that. Now we use AI to do that. Why? It's faster. Okay. So, what we want to ask you then is, do you have those four components in your business? Because those comprise what you need to build your business around to have that profit. Okay. Is it like the star in its category? Is it simple to use? Is it fast? Is it easy? Okay. If you have those four things, then you're ahead of the game. If you don't, then we can fix that. Okay. You can just type #call, and we'll hop on a call. I will look at that and I'll do a quick analysis for you and say, hey, you've got 2 out of the 4, you got 3 out of the 4, and tell you what you need to do. Okay. So when you're looking at this order, okay, kind of map it out. If we mapped out your profit machine. All right. So first we're going to look at when we're talking about your network. That's what we're talking about, growing your profits from your network, who is that target market? Okay. Do you know where to find them, what they want, how to get it to them? Okay. And is it an urgent problem? Is it something they have to have right now, right? Because we want that'll tap into that fast aspect of things, right? So, is it urgent? Is it fast? Is it unique? Do they want it? Do you know who they are? That's how you build that profit machine. Does that make sense? Okay. So, I want you to really understand, think about the person, what's in their head, what's going on in your prospect's mind, in your customer's mind, and how do you tap into that? Like, if you could read the mind, remember there was a movie with oh, what is his name, I forget, but it was called What Women Want, and he could read everyone's minds. He could read women's minds. Like, he'd be walking down the street, he could hear everything women were saying, like, oh, why did I wear these shoes? Oh, I really want that. I can't believe he didn't call me. And he was going nuts because all these thoughts were coming into his head from all the women around him. He thought, God, if I just knew what women wanted. Well, it was like a curse of a wish. Do you guys remember that movie? Tell me his name again. What was his name? I mean, he played he got into trouble a little bit in Hollywood, and he was with Danny Glover in that movie. You guys know who this is. Why can't I remember his name? Somebody tell me his name in the comments. Oh, so imagine what my customers want. What if you could actually hear all their thoughts and, like, oh, that's what they want. That's what they're going to pay for. And then you create it. Okay. So what that means is this is the key. Okay. You have to be able to enter that conversation that's going on in their head. Okay. That's number one. And you've got to be ready. Okay. So you got to be able to do it. You've got to be ready, meaning at the right time when they want it right then. Okay. And make sure that you know these two key points when you're having a conversation with them. And that is number one, that they have a problem that they don't want. That's the most important thing. You have to know that. You have to be able to read their mind about that. What is that problem that keeps them up at night that they don't want? And then you have to know what is the outcome that they want, but they do not have. Okay? Does this make sense? So to get into their head, to be able to know what all your customers want, you have to know, number one, what is the problem they have that they don't want? And number two, what is the outcome that they want but they don't have? And if you can have a way to solve those two things with your offer, that's golden. Okay? Money will start pouring in. Does this make sense so far? The problem is that most people think you have to do other things. Okay. If you're going to make a lot of profit with your brand, you have to know two things. It's not just about the money. People will actually pay more to get value than to worry about the price they have to pay. Okay. Most people think, oh, I got to drop my price. I got to be competitive. And when I ask most people, what is your strategy? How did you price your offer? You know what they say? They say, I looked at what other people were doing. I looked at my competitors and I said, oh, everybody's priced around this mark. That doesn't mean anything. That just means you've become a commodity. So you actually have to do your research, okay? It's not just about price. Do you know that people will pay twice as much if they perceive that they have 4 times as much value, okay? So think about that. Are you willing to do that in your life? Like, hey, if this, brings me more benefit, I'll pay more for that, okay? So you have to make sure that when you're building out your company and your offers and your structures, that you have that ability to have people perceive that, wow, this is 4 times as valuable as anything else on the market. Okay. It can't just be 10%. Nobody will move forward for just a 10% improvement. It needs to be bigger. Okay. And so keep in mind, this is something called the longer the wait, the bigger the ask. Okay. This is a great way to think about something when you're thinking about how do I have more profit in my business. Okay. So if you go after somebody right away, like, hi, here's my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing. And every time you're out there, you think that's marketing, just saying, buy this, buy this, buy this. Okay. We call that junk mail. And you're just shouting messages at people to buy, 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 buy. but you don't know anything about them. Okay. So the longer you can wait for the ask, the bigger the ask, right? Because in that time period, you've given them enough information to know what to do. And this is the key thing. Every buyer is on a journey. And maybe you've seen there's a lot of things that you can do and sheets and worksheets and things that we have to help you see this buyer's journey. But let me show it to you this way in a really simple way, okay? Because every buyer is on a journey and it's a journey of information, okay? In the beginning, they're just asking about trying to figure out, do I need this? Like, do I need a crock pot? Okay. I don't even know that I need one. Why should I get one? Right? Why should I buy one? And then they start looking into it a little bit more. Like maybe you heard someone say, oh, I got this thing. And then you go home and you start researching it, right? And you're looking for information about it. And then you're going, well, why shouldn't I? You're trying to figure out all the objections. What would be wrong about owning this? And then you come to the conclusion that, yeah, I should get this. And at that point, you're in that 1% right there on the right? Now you're ready to buy. But in the beginning, you're not. All right. Does this make sense? And so it's that 1%, that's where you hold off and hold off and hold off until they get into that 1% category. Okay. This is a huge way for you to shift your business so you can make a lot more profit. Think of it like hide and go seek. Remember that game when you were a kid, right? There's 3 people at least involved. You have the person hiding. You have the director who's saying, you're hot, you're cold, warmer, warmer, right? You remember that? Okay. And then there's you, okay? And you're seeking, you're looking, okay? The seeker is like your buyer, okay? And so they're going through this phase when they first have an idea about something, they're just looking over here where they're cold, right? And that person saying cold, hot is talking to you as the business owner saying they're still cold. You have to talk to them with what they need as they're cold. And as you say warmer, warmer, getting warmer, now you can give them different information as they warm up. And as they're hot, then you can make your offer. Does this make sense? This is what I mean by this, right? The longer the wait, the bigger the ask. If you try to go too early, like, hi, do you want this? Well, sure, it's a piece of gum. I'll pay $1 for it. No big deal. Okay. But when something is $5, $10, $20,000, you can't just go right after them. Okay. We like to say here is that you just don't have sex on the first day. You don't try to close the deal as soon as you meet somebody. Okay. So that's one of the ways that you can really boost your profits. Here's a second way. Okay, remember, these are the 3 stages, so you have to know which phase you're in. Now, you want to know when you're in the 1%, what are some other things that you could do? You have to get out of a red ocean. You have to get out of the place where you've got all your competitors doing the same thing. And one of the best ways to do that without lowering your pricing is to bundle. Okay, this takes you out of the apples to apples comparison. And so you put together a couple different packages that you can sell to your clients. So they're not just buying a bike, but they're getting a bicycle package that comes with the car rack, right? And the lock and the serial engraving and all that kind of stuff, right? And you bundle a whole package and now nobody can compare. Okay. Does this make sense to you guys? So you have to look at your business and say, what could I bundle together to make this make sense? And it doesn't have to be your own thing. Okay. So we know a builder that we worked with who bundled together a security package with the homes. And so it had an entertainment package, a security package. So, like the ring security stuff, the fire protection, 80-inch TV, surround sound, all that kind of stuff, and bundled it in to the home purchase. So if you had homes exactly the same, right? And you know how it is when you're in a subdivision or maybe you're an investor or a realtor or something like that. And if the homes are identical, it's just a matter of which one. Okay. But if one had all this other stuff on it, okay, and they added more and more bundles, it would be amazing, right? And it's the same price. Wouldn't you go with a bundle versus the other one, right? Of course you would. So think about that. To unlevel the playing field, think about bundling and you'll get a lot more profit. Will it take away a little of your profit up front? Maybe, if you're not adding in that profit to cover it. But bundling is a great strategy. If you need some ideas specific to your business, then just type hashtag bundle down below, hashtag bundle, and I'll hop on a quick 5 or 10 minute call and give you some ideas of how that would look for your business. Okay. And then we can even plug all the numbers into the software and show you exactly how much you would make off of that. So before you do any offer or promotion, you should always know going in what you're going to come out with. Okay. So this is a strategy that made me millions in real estate. Is I never bought a property without knowing how much I'm going to profit before I ever put in that offer. Okay. You have to do the numbers first before you're like, oh, I'm going to go do an ad thing, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do SEO, I'm going to do all these things. And you don't know what you're going to come out with. That's suicide, because then you don't know how much to spend. Okay. And this is why so many businesses are going broke and they have 10% on average or less profit. Okay. So if you're making $50,000, you're only getting 10% profit, which is what the average business does. That's only $5,000. And you know what that means? It means you have to have a second job. Okay. And we are anti-employment here, except for the people that work for us. So we want you all to be the employer, not be the employed. Okay. So even if you're at 100,000, it's $10,000. When you're at $1 million at 10%, you're still only making 6 figures. That's take home. You can't live off of that. Okay. So when we look to buy businesses, we're always looking to buy businesses. If you have one that you want to sell, talk to me. But anybody's always looking for at least 20 to 30% margins. Okay. And so you need to build that up. Even if you think I want to sell my business, beef it up first. Okay. And these are some of the ways that you can do that. So another thing, very common, very easy for you guys to do is upsells and cross sells. Okay. Do you guys know what this means? Right. So upselling means you just up leveling the offer or the quality or the size. Like, well, you see this a lot with supplements, and you get a supplement or a weight loss pill or something like that, or arthritic medication. You see that online, and then you make your order for a bottle of that, and they say, here, get 3 of them all at once, right? Or they say, if you're buying a car, well, hey, why not just get the leather seats instead of the cloth seats? Okay, that's upselling. Now, cross-selling, that's offering a different product or service, okay? Something that'll complement the purchase that they are making. You remember this from the whole fast food industry, right? So do you want fries to go with that? It's complementing your hamburger, okay? Might be complementing heart disease, but it's still something to go with that. What else would you like with that, right? So if you, again, back to the car example, maybe you live in Colorado and they say, hey, why don't we just put on a ski rack on top of that too? I'm like, yeah, okay. So it's a cross sell. It's another thing that would help support the thing that you bought. And here's the interesting thing. This is where most people miss it. Okay. Why is it so powerful? Because when you do that, 34% of the people will say yes. But most people don't ask. They don't have something ready to go. They don't have something in their back pocket that they can pull out. Okay. Is this making sense to you guys? So those are 3 instant examples of what you could do to double your profits in just a few minutes. And I would love to do that for you, right? What I would like to do, some of you guys know my background, right? Sure, I come from all these interesting industries, but yes, I actually am a doctor, right? But it's in physics. So I want to do, okay, a test on you, like cough, breathe, right? I want to see what's the life and the health of your business, okay? So what I want to do is I want to do it, and I can do it in 5 minutes. It's nothing to buy. In 5 minutes, I'll show you 2 places that you can actually boost your profits, okay? And so what I'm going to do, does this sound good? Okay. Now, if you just got here, make sure you go back and watch from the beginning, because there's some real important parts in the beginning that we talked about. And so what we're going to do is you can do it in 5 minutes, but if you want a full analysis, right? You want the full MRI of your business without having to get in a tube. Okay. We'll stick your business in a tube and we'll put it in our software, and we will find the different places where you can increase your profits. And then afterwards, I will give you a report. It's going to be around 17 to 19 pages of exactly what the software says you need to do, in what order, how much you're going to make coming out of it, right? That's what we were talking about, right? Don't go into something unless you know how much you're going to get out of it, right? Okay, so if you want that, go ahead and just type hashtag profits, okay? Hashtag profits. And or let me give you something else that you can do here. Make it really easy on you, okay? I want you to just go here, okay? Just go here, just type my name / double. If you would like to double your profits, then just do conniescavella.com / double. conniescavella.com / double. My team is standing by. We've got Angie and Tally and Sandy here, and they will help you get that appointment, and we will hop on. It'll take 5 minutes. Okay. Now, some of you might want a deeper dive, right? And you might say, okay, I need an extra $100,000. And if you want me to show you in that 45-minute session how to get an extra $100,000 profit and revenue in your business without spending any more money on marketing or advertising, maybe you don't have that budget, maybe you're doing everything organically, but you still want an extra $100,000, then just go ahead and again, type that, go to double, we'll fix that, we'll help you guys. And that's the most important thing. If you don't have a strategy, remember, a funnel isn't a strategy, a brand isn't a strategy, a marketing agency isn't a strategy, right? Great pictures and all of that, but it's not a plan. It's not an actual roadmap. Those are all necessary, but it's sort of like, great, they're all parts of a car, but nothing matters, right? Until you have the ignition key, right? And this is the ignition key. This is the thing that'll actually put you on the road. So let us know. Do you want that? Do you want to double your profits? This is part 3. I've been getting some requests. We're going to do one more part of this. I'm going to show you exactly how to actually boost your transactions. How do you get more transactions? So you know how to get more profit. And how do you get more transactions, more people, more leads, and everything coming in? I'm going to cover that next week, Tuesday, 5 p.m. But for now, all you need to do is type hashtag profit down below, okay? And we will hop on a 5-minute call and show you how to do all of that in 5 minutes. And it's super easy, or you go to conniescavella.com / double. So that's it. Come back next week. And right now, I want you to start doing those 3 things that I showed you to double your profits right away. All right. And if you do know of anybody, by the way, who is looking, I just want to let you guys know that our company is hiring right now. And so if you know somebody, please let them know and have them come over and apply with us. So you guys have a great day, and we will see you next Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Don't forget to subscribe down here and join us so you get notifications every week.